Up 270, Marcus Geiger. And this is in Ponderosa Shores.
We're live again, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, good.
22260.
Come on
Just
up.
one
We
without
already
you.
started. 22270, Marcus Geiger. Last one on Ponderosa
Oh,
Shores
that's
with
the
the
last
septic.
one, yeah, the one we did not. Here, there's this one.
So you're up?
Yeah, well, I was told non-personal get slipped in before the next scheduled.
I have one here.
22270.
Yep.
You want my copy?
This is 1.9 acres of land with a septic restriction on it.
This is the one that
Well, one horse
took
property.
the all horse property appraisal value.
So apparently we have a sanitary restriction on this. Let me pull it up on program.
Adequate space to accommodate system.
So
Would this one get a 50% reduction?
when we have a sanitary restriction, we generally do, we have no adjustments on this at this time whatsoever.
Okay,
So if we were to give this the sanitary restriction, we would have a value of
you've got also the 30% for being up at Ponderosa Shores.
I don't have that on there. I only have 50% adjustment.
You still have 7. Let's see.
That increased it. Okay, if we put a 50% adjustment on this, not the 30, but a 50%, it brings it from 213,594 down to 73,510.
That's not 50%.
That's 66.
Yeah.
That's what it does. You saw what I put in.
Fluence has is behind the scenes percentage ratios. So like if you do 50% completion,
It'd be a different value. So sanitary restriction sums it up a little bit extra.
So I think,
I can do a what if with the additional 32. I can do whatever you want, not say this.
I think we need to do market value first, give him the same thing that we gave the rest of them. So the 213, 594,
Let me clear this.
and give him the 30% off.
Okay.
So this is in consideration of
It
what
looks
we did
like
for all
Christie
others.
has added.
And then add a sanitary.
Christie's working on this as we speak.
Oh,
See this 31?
yes.
She just added, that's why I didn't have.
it's gotta be why it would.
Too
Yeah.
funny. Okay, so we probably should wait for her then, and she can tell us what she wants.
She's probably looking at it.
What
Yeah.
is this doing?
Then once we get back to where the
So
market
she's-
value is, then you take the 50%
Okay,
off,
so
right?
with 30%, well, let's take a look at the land and see what she's done here. She hasn't done, it's something Anthony put in the tables.
I don't think or she's working on it and just because you're removing it.
Oh, we got a computer fight. Oh, I love it.
Okay, I'm gonna just clear out of it.
Okay.
Because she's apparently doing something with it. as we are speaking.
So do you want to table this one again?
Yeah, until she gets up here, because I don't
Okay.
wanna mess anything up.
Don't want to mess anything, Nick, so we'll table KH 22270, Doug.
Oh.
I have two here that were.
Okay, what you got?
So the first one is NA 22205. AST Properties, it's over there next to the contiguous parcel that's landlocked on Coy Road,
Oh, okay,
okay?
they agree with this?
Okay, this was, I finally spoke to her, to Elise. And I went to her last name. And she's the manager, she's the one that takes care of, I guess, everything. She agrees with the valued as if combined, although she did indicate that she needs some time to speak with the city of McCall, considering it's the holiday and they're there, to see about any ramifications for future use or development of that property. She's really, that was the part that she was truly concerned about. She doesn't know if they are gonna, by combining those together, is she not gonna know? So, my suggestion and request to you is we do a valued as if combined and give her the full year. So she can get that paperwork from the city of McCall.
Great
That's the
idea.
route she wants to go. If they don't wanna go that route, I did let her know that I don't have that paperwork by December 31st.
Okay, so what are the values? Now that they're combined, what's the value?
So this is a stick, how do I want to do this? Because now that we're valuing in kind,
The ones would go up.
one goes up a little bit, which I could let her do that. Okay, so the one that is the appeal,
Let's do that
let's
first.
just do that one
Let me
first.
think about it.
The value goes from the 272,221 down to 34,086.
Okay.
Where she was requesting 30,000.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, is everybody good with that?
Yeah.
So then I need a motion to deny the appeal and accept the appraiser's value as combined.
So moved.
For a
I'll
second,
second.
moved in second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. You have something for me there to sign? I don't have it.
can we reword that?
How do you wanna-
Valued as if combined with this RP number so I can adjust it. Oh.
Okay.
I don't know all this legal stuff.
We don't either. We play at it every day. Oh, bad. A long afternoon.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. Now, I'm not sure about increasing the other one. We don't have an I mean, the board can do what they feel needs to be done, absolutely. I don't know if we need to do an appeal. Did you make up an appeal?
I did not, because I didn't know
Okay.
what.
You can just direct us to.
But she knows that the other one is gonna go up. You told her that. Hey, we're good. I think we're good, Jim.
Okay.
As long as we, that's
Yep.
why I was like, do we want to say that number value, does it combine with that other
And
RP?
I think we should be okay because it will reflect the tax bill.
Probably leave a note in the file that she understood that the other one was gonna go up. Okay?
The other one was the one that I was in here this morning about, Mr. Adam Cole and Keith Tasker came back with new values on that.
Fast work, my dear, fast work.
Oh, wait a minute, June, I had the one for Coy Road right here. Doug, you have it, right? 22205 with a new value, so I had the original here, I'm sorry, guys. 205.
205.
It's just the last one we did, June.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
So you want this one back?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got too many papers up here.
Which one of our list is this one on? What's the
This
number?
one is 22350.
22350. Was it the end of one of these? 22. It's in the big packet. 22.
Here in the back.
I'm really hoping that we can get electronically send it with all this.
Wouldn't that be
Wouldn't
nice?
that be delightful?
Well, that's a lot of waste
Okay,
of
this is the
paper
one that was up along the
On
bypass.
Dine Hard, yes,
Yeah.
on Sunny Way.
And we denied this one, gave it a new value of 107,981.
No, we asked her to go back and redo it
Yeah, we
and then come
I was
back.
asked
We're
to
gonna
go
give
back and
him.
Okay, so what do you got?
So, what I came up with on this one was to take in consideration that they're on Dine Hard right on the road, like you were indicating as a bypass for the state highway. Business. So I dropped it a full grade. I dropped it from an average to a fair to take that into consideration, because
Okay.
that's what we do on Highway 55 also.
Perfect.
I did a topography on this one of 25%, just like the other two. And then did an easement adjustment for all of those sewer utilities and everything else of 45%, which brought him in at 89,585.
And I think
felt
that's
that
fair.
was kind of
That's,
where you guys were feeling that. I felt good with it. If you wanted to take it to BTA, I could definitely defend that value.
Yeah.
All those easements that are on there. So that's where that one came in at.
I would
Okay.
move to approve 22350 with a new appraiser value of $89,585.
we'll second that.
Who did second? All fair, please say aye.
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 Motion carries. Green, do you want to put the value on this or just do it later?
We need the value now.
I'm not quite sure where to write it. Is this the final approved value right there?
Yes, yes, sir.
Oh, bad.
Got it. Okay, where are we going next?
So these coincide with this last one,
The other two lots to
the
the,
other two lots to the east.
Okay.
And I worked these up. They don't have as many easements running through them. But I also, but they still have that top easement that goes along the top of theirs, all the way across. You'll see it in these pictures with the trees. But I did two scenarios on this one. I did both of them, dropped them a full grade for being on the highway right there, down to a fair for that. And then I did an easement, a negative 25% and a negative 20% for these two, just to see where they fall into place. We're looking at one at $125,023 or $117,208. Consulting with Sue, she recommended, since we didn't receive appeals for these, that maybe we should wait and put these into effect for 2023. I feel the fair and equitable way is to do an appraiser appeal even without them
I do
calling
too.
or contacting us. So I kind of feel like we need to do
Well,
overall.
I agree.
I really do think that's a
And
great
we
way
can
to
send,
go.
and then
Yeah.
they can be sent.
A new
A letter is
appraisal.
sent from your office, correct, Doug?
Correct.
Indicating
Okay.
this would be their values. But I just didn't know if, I was kind of tossed, they fall right into place on their values.
Well, they
They're
didn't
so
even,
close together, I just didn't, kind of hesitated with, I didn't know which percentage to use.
they didn't even appeal those, so
No,
what we're doing is showing that we actually backed
took
up,
in
looked at things,
consideration,
and
yeah.
just.
is there a
So-
number on those, appeal number or anything? No? Okay, so bring them on up and I'll just read the name into the record, I
Deal.
guess. I need a motion to approve. Well, let's get the wording first.
I think I was kind of looking for your guidance for the value portion of it, what you guys felt was appropriate for the two.
So right now, the value is at 171,026 on 206 Sunny.
Yes.
So that will bring, if you do the 25%, is that what brings it down to the 125,217?
Actually, if we do the 25% on that one, brings it down to the 116.92. They have the topography also.
I think that's what we should do myself.
You wanna make a motion to that?
So 116,092. Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we bring down 206 Sunny Way, Howard and Barbara Hayes to $116,092.
I'll second that.
In a second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
To know how in the world they're gonna have a Sunny Way address. I think that's gonna happen, but
Okay, and the next one?
The next one will be Randy
Packer.
Packer.
Packer?
And so that would bring his down from 172,672 to
117,208.
oh wait. Mr. Chairman, I move that we reduce the value on the property of Randy Acker. There is no site address at this moment, to 117,208. Doug, because there is no address, would
I
you
can
like me to read
Read the parcel number.
RPM 00000171564.
Thank you.
I will second that, I believe.
Moved in second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Probably ought to click those two together for you. Okay, what's next?
For your time and I'll be back at 2:30.
We have one coming in at 2, so unless somebody has something they can put in for the next 10 minutes.
What about, the one that was just below this one that's, I think it's yours, 22398, Richard Cashman? Oh, that's a personal, sorry. Gotta look at that. You have any others? Are you done?
Until 2:30 and
Till
then
2:30?
next week. I'll be back.
I'll be back. You gotta say that in that,
We're,
deep voice,
we have to come back at when?
too.
Okay, so the one from Patricia Young has been withdrawn. Okay, so that one is, how about Lick Creek Road, Jennifer Coughlin Jones? Well, that's a personal too. Yep, sorry.
Hey, you're trying, aren't you?
I'm trying, I wanna go home, I'm tired.
So this is on the- This is next week. We do have 2 members there. I think we did get that scheduled.
I think all the rest of yours are personals.
Justin,
Mr. Chairman, you want me to take us, just mute it or?
Yeah, let's just mute.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go back into that one and we'll finish that one up.
Unrecorded.
Thank you.
Which one are we done, Mr. Chairman?
So, Geiger, the one that is.
Septic issue one, this is 22270. What'd you end up with?
number is R2.
Oh, here it is.
This is on the back side of Hilltop, isn't it?
I got it.
Okay, what'd you come up with?
So, we made so his original value, it's a 1.9053 acre parcel. And his original assessed value was 213,594. And then per today's agreement, to reduce it by an extra 25%, we did that. And then on that value, I deducted another 50% for his documented sanitary restriction. And that puts us at a value of 79,420.
79,421. Got it. So I'll make the motion.
It is one of,
Yeah.
someone.
I'll make the motion. We deny KH 22270 and accept the appraiser's value.
Second.
Move to second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Please.
Thank you.
So then that's documented in the file, right? So anybody that ever goes to purchase that should know those restrictions, correct?
It's up for
I always-
review or disclosure.
And that's my concern because we don't. I mean, that's the problem. When you go on and you look at a tax notification, unless it's called out specifically. I mean, I know enough to go in and I pull every tax statement. But somebody else just looking at it might go, wow, that's a great lot, $79,000. And unless they have an agent that says there's restrictions on this, how do you know? No, I mean, I always put in my contracts that it's pending septic approval. Not all agents do that. So it's kind of difficult.
So what was that value again? 79?
79,421.
421. Got it.
Say
Oh, you would think.
all our assessors office and find
So
out.
you're saying that if a realtor just can't just readily go and get that, or, well, we will have it documented in the records, right? I mean, so if they look for
They would
records,
just have to come.
they just have to come, but they don't necessarily have to do that. Hmm.
Yeah, they need to ask Central District Health, and find that there is no approval there.
So when they do, what do you do that, what do they call it?
Perk test?
Yeah, or no, when the title search kind of thing, doesn't that include that kind of thing?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, it might include a sanitary restriction. Now that I say that, a title search. I think it does include a sanitary
So most
restriction.
people do a title search prior to buying, don't they?
If you have a good agent, the people get it a few days prior to closing.
If I buy something and it's not done that way and
Any,
I
are you
find
here
out
to present
the hard way,
any additional
wouldn't
non-personals?
I be,
No.
If the agent had the information and should have provided it, they go back to their agent's ethics.
Oh, so you're here for the 2 o'clock? Okay, Mr. Chairman, do you want me to?
Yeah,
Yes,
if you guys need a break, now would be the time to take it.
Camera audio is back on.
Okay, thanks Doug for keeping track of that.
What'd you say?
What are you mumbling about over here?
I have put together.
You don't have to wear a motorcycle in this country. Oh, this is a Rio Vista Pond one?
No, this, well, kind of. She's at the very far back of Rio Vista Pond.
When the pump is working.
This is 10822. But she was already graded as a good. We didn't have to change anything there. She sent one note with her thing, and it just house says this house is 1,000 square foot larger than mine on twice the acreage. Sold in 7/20/20 for $635. She feels it should be worth $95,000. There's a swamp, a puddle with dead fish floating around, etc. What I have here, this is her property record. This house was built in 2019, average 1,888 square feet. It's an attached garage. On the house, we have an assessed value of $455,275, and on the land, we have $238,760. I have some sales on this back page that are average and good land sales. You can see through the sales, our land is all over, but it's accurate. And then I have some improved sales that are average homes.
Is that the big page at the end?
That's that long page at
Okay.
the end. I tried to find one, the newest ones I could find in the same size, approximate square foot. A couple of them are average pluses. There's about a 7% difference in value between an average and average plus, but through the time adjusted, you can see that there's, sorry, I don't have addresses or anything. It's 680, 750, 784. These are all homes built in early 2000s, so. After reviewing this, I feel that we should uphold her value at $694,009.
So she is just looking at the land is what she's questioning. And she's taking it down to 95. So she didn't have any problems with the improvement value on it.
That she mentions, I haven't been able to talk to her. But never provided a phone number, we just have an email. Even at the land value at 95,000. What was interesting is she said the land, but she provided a house comp. So,
Got it.
I do feel that our land is accurately assessed at a good grade in that area.
So because she's not on the pond, this does turn into the end of that pond. It's mucky and ucky, and she's at the very end of it. So have we put a bump on it because she is on the pond?
No,
Okay. Because if we have, I think we
Great,
should take that
otherwise-
off.
got pond, you're at an excellent, if you're on the Payette River, you have very good.
Okay.
You got trees and that, if you got some pine trees around it, you do have some there on that end.
Okay.
And then as you get more into the
So she's probably,
back,
so the good is where most of the rest of the pond, or, you know, people that don't live directly on the pond are getting for that area.
you're on the pond, are getting excellent.
Okay.
To redo those.
But anybody else is getting good.
Yeah.
It's not directly.
Second tier.
And hers
in
is
that
good.
back into Rio Vista where it's a lot more trees versus once you go into the heavier old.
Yep.
Just house.
So hers is on a good, so I think the values are definitely there in that whole area.
I agree 100%. I think you did great here, Anthony. I'll make the motion that we deny AF 22108.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Got lots of copies. I made extras. Ready for the next one?
Okay, hang on, just okay, so the next one would be AF 2231. Same applicant, 135 Commerce Street.
And here's a list of my sales that I used to AF 2231. This appeal is for Chester Ventures LLC, Annie Phillips. This is all she sent in was just the front page. Reasoning. And didn't have a lot of commercial sales last. I had a few. They were large acreage for huge amounts of money. But I needed to update commercial land values in McCall, Donnelly, and Cascade. Since I didn't have sales, I used residential sales values for Dinehard South through Lake to value these commercial properties. I realized the best I had. IAAO, our international assessing, suggests generally commercial will be 60% more residential. I don't really have anything to shore that up. I felt I would just go with the residential values. Did a 5% increase on commercial for cost increases. I did calculate the taxes on this property. The estimated taxes will actually be a little bit less than last year. $80. I was never able to get a hold of her to talk to her about any of this, so. And without anything else provided, I can't see any justification for lowering this at all.
So Anthony, you don't take into consideration the acreage or the size of the lot. You just look at the commercial and you look at income stuff too. Are we doing
I
that?
would love to be able to look at income.
No, that's
We
been,
just don't have the staff to
do that.
gather all the data, and then we want 3 years of data. And then somebody to take that data, analyze it, put it into a database. I'm already scrambling to get above water as it is.
I think it's a big blessing to them that these are being valued as residential and not commercial. There's very, very few commercial properties
That's kind
in McCall.
of, I mean, that's obviously commercial, and that'd be really tough to have anything less than that for that particular property.
And then like some of those 7-8 acre sales, that parcel south of McCall that were commercial, they were going, what, $900,000, over $1 million for some of the ones in town that they're gonna develop.
Yeah.
It's never really enough, and then to take the time to dissect a commercial sale, find out if there's blue sky involved, what was all part of it. It's just we had staff that was on, because we do like the income approach, and establish some real good commercial values. I still feel personally that they're quite low, especially as you get down towards Lake Street,
Yeah, you don't,
Third Street.
couldn't sell, you couldn't buy that for that price.
Well, one of the ones that I just sold over on Third, I mean, it's 1 acre, and that one was 290,000, I think. And then the 4 acre one, they were a million together, 990,000 together.
Yep.
So, yeah. It's expensive for commercial ground.
Anthony, I think you did a great job here. I think this is just right on.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we deny AF 2231.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
How many more in-persons do we have today?
Nice.
No more in-person?
Sounds like
Oh, yeah, well, hey, happy 4th.
I do have something that I found. They like to put things on my chair when I'm not there. So I did find 2 appeals. These were Jen's. And it looks like she talked to the individual, so they came to an agreement and she is requesting that these become an assessor request, and I can review them with you if that would be all right.
Yep.
Okay, so they are number JB 22201 and JB 22202. I do not have a lot of copies that you.
John Hop, this is in Crown Point.
Yes,
Both of them are in Crown Point.
yes,
So those were the 25 reduction things?
no.
No, this
No.
is Crown Point's other direction.
Oh, no, not Crown Point. Yeah.
But, yeah, I do not have copies, I only have two appeals. So I will give you those and then I'll read if that's acceptable.
Mr. Chairman, can you read the appeal number one more time?
22201 is the first one. On page 6 of your master list. And that one is John Hopt, Haupt, Crown Point Parkway, Crown Point subdivision. 22201.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is a appraisal request, and she wants to reduce the value from 111,624 down to 110,511.
so moved. For
I'll second
1,000.
that. Moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So this appeal is, we don't have a denial, so this would just be a final value approved.
What happened to the other two that were supposed to appear today? Tyner and Chad Drive, and one in Rivers, or both of them in Rivers Crossing. Were the last two. Noreen had them.
Oh, they have until, excuse me, they have until 2:30.
Okay, so there are,
They still make that.
Okay, now we're gonna go down to JB 22202, one right below this one. This is the similar, same applicant, similar area, and this value would drop from, ooh, this is a big drop. 92,273 would drop down to 12,139. for a little over half an acre of ground.
And that's being valued as buffer
Oh,
because they combined their two lots.
This is due to a combination, both of
Yes.
them. Got it.
So it increased the house then, correct?
And there's no house on this one.
There's no land, this is the house, this is bare land. I can pull them up on the.
Doug, the one I just handed you to have a house on it?
No, there's no house.
No.
Okay, so it's both bare lands and you just combine the two lots. So the
But it
new
would've
value
been-
for all of that's gonna be 122,650.
There's one. The other one, let's see if this is-
Mr. Chairman, you will need a motion on.
Oh, I didn't get a motion on this, sorry.
No.
Okay, everybody understood this one. This was a
So it's
combination, the new value is 12,139. I need a motion to
Okay,
approve.
hold on one second, I have a
Sure.
question.
These two
So-
lots.
We did the first one and that value dropped. But we're adding extra ground to it. Why did the first value drop again? But it was only like $1,000, but we're adding a whole nother lot to it.
That's what you do is you take and you add the two acreages together.
It's half an acre, but we came up with a full acre.
So you add them together as if they were
Oh,
one
what a-
parcel. It's the Costco mentality, the more you have, the less it is.
So I need a motion to approve this new value.
Pulling it up in
We're
Colo's
really
to show
figuring this one out.
When you combine lots, you get a lesser value for both of them.
Generally.
It's the Sue Leaper approach.
But in my mind, as a real estate agent, the larger the land, the more it's worth.
And then mine would be worth millions.
Yes, it is. Gazillions.
It's
We
not, because you can't
Make
get that much.
sure we increase his taxes.
His land would be
No,
about
it takes a
7 cents
lot.
an acre, you know?
Thanks a lot.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve the appraiser's new value of $12,139 for 22202.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, but all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, now where are we going?
I have a non-personal appearance.
Okay, which one?
194, KH 22-194.
22,190.
do that, I know. I think I'm really good at
Okay,
it.
this is the page before.
Justin James.
Justin James, Ponderosa Estates. This is a.
Can you repeat it one more time?
Yep, this is KH 22194. Page 5.
Got it, thank you.
Yes, Justin James, East State Drive, Ponderosa Estates. Go ahead, Sue.
Did you guys have a chance to read what he wrote?
Nope.
The 4-horse guys are at it again.
Tell me when you're ready for me.
I'm an Idaho native, 46 years, working hard to
Not a penny higher.
maximize my something
Livelihood.
livelihood. I think, yeah. $80,000, not a penny higher. Let's do it 80,000 and 1 penny. See what happens.
Sorry, not today.
I gotta quit saying stuff like that. So where's your comps? Are they in here?
Yeah, they're in mine. So this parcel is at 321 Estate Drive in Cascade, consists of 0.438, good land grade, acres. Parcel also has an 8x20 steel utility shed. I gave you the values for the last 3 years. He offered one comparable, but after you read what he wrote, the one that he's referring to, so the one comp that he used, is lot 44 and lot 43, located at 329 Westview Road. Same subdivision, I believe. And so those two lots combined are 0.84 an acre in a good land grade, so same as the subject. The owner of these two lots sent in a combination request. He bought both lots for $130,000 on April 23rd of last year. His time-adjusted sale price is $182,000. We currently are assessing both lots combined at $185,128. So if you'll flip the page to my comps, the appellant's property fits in between the top two comps that I provided. He's 0.438, so he sits right in the middle. And he's valued, well, his land's valued at $142,676. His utility shed is valued at $3,461 for a total of $146,137.
So what subdivision is this?
It is
Ponderosa.
Ponderosa Estates,
Oh, is this,
next to Ponderosa Shores, but this way, to the north of
so
them.
this is not part of the subdivision that we just
No.
provided the 30% decrease?
No.
Okay.
Well, I think the second comp on your page kind of explains it to me, the 0.517 acres for 204,000 roughly. Time adjusted went up to 240. It might be a little low, but I think we're still okay. I don't see anything else that's really,
Well, and so
Half an
the subject property actually sold in 2020 and they never reported the sale price to us. So we weren't able to compare that.
often wondered if we knew what that price was, if that would have decreased their value. Me, if you had that,
Well, you never know. I
You
mean,
know,
we have to
yeah.
time adjust it because it was a 20 sale, but.
it actually might help people if they provided it.
It would.
Yeah.
It would.
I'm gonna make the motion, we deny KH 22194.
Second.
Who did second? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The other ones that I compared are personal occurrences, so.
Wait a minute, I gotta get the number. 22194.
I gave her the schedule. She has the original.
So this one says personal by phone and this one says personal. On the next
On the
one
second
that's
list,
supposed to come in.
where do you see this?
So right below the one that we just did, Herbert Pike Tyner, on that sheet it says personal by phone, but on this sheet it says personal.
And they don't have a time schedule either, so I'm assuming we're gonna do this one Wednesday.
June said they have until 2:30 to get here. These two bottom ones.
Well, I don't see a time limit on it.
Yeah, she had just said that earlier.
2:30, so we can do those after 2:30?
Yeah, if they're scheduled and they don't show up, can we just go ahead and do them?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very difficult to reach people when you just give us an email or give us both phone number and email and we call or email them and we get a reply back.
So this one said personal by phone, and this one says personal. There is a phone number on this other one.
Is that the Tynerts? Tynerts?
Yes.
And they will be here in person. They will be here in person versus they're gonna be on the phone.
They'll be on the phone together, I
Whose
understand.
number are they calling?
So we probably need to call them. There's a phone number on this. There's not on our one for today.
So Doug, how do I
So
get out
is
on this?
this would be,
Let's use the big one, Mr. Chairman.
No, I have to dial any number to get out?
Nope, just dial.
Wait, wait.
Mike Tyner.
Mike, this is Commissioner Hasbrook in Valley
Hello,
County.
can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hang
Hello?
on just. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you good. Can you hear us?
Oh, yeah, okay, we're good now. I apologize. I was trying to connect to some speakers, but I didn't succeed. Anyway, thank you for calling.
You bet. You have an appeal in front of us.
do we have any
I'm
information?
and this is on Chad Drive Rivers Crossing. Is that correct?
Chad Drive, correct, we're not in Rivers Crossing.
You're not in Rivers Crossing?
No, ma'am.
He's in rural
If you look
parcel.
at the appeal, even though if you go to the assessor's map, it's color coded as part of Rivers Crossing, but it is not currently, nor has it ever been, a part of the Rivers Crossing subdivision.
Okay, so we are doing appeal number 22196, Herbert Pike Tynert.
Yes, I don't know about the appeal number.
Okay, that's fine.
Do we have any of those?
Your first name is Herbert, correct?
That's good. I go by Pike.
Pike, okay. That's great. So at this time, Pike, the way we work this is we give you the opportunity to express your concerns, and then our appraiser is in here as well, and she will answer any other question we have, and we'll go from there. So if you want to pretend like you're standing up and raise your hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. So I'll turn it over to you, and go ahead and give us your feelings on this.
Okay. In the appeal paperwork that I filed, as stated in attachment 1, which I hope you have. Do you guys have a copy of that?
Yes, we do. I think we do.
Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Simply that I'm not a part of any subdivision. I'm basically on an unsubdivided, unplatted property in Valley County, not in the city limits, like Rivers Crossing, which is in the city limits. So I want to make that distinction because when you go to the appraiser's map, it clearly shows, and I'm color coded as part of Rivers Crossing. So are we clear on that point?
Yes, sir. We are very clear.
So can I ask you, Mr. Tyner, how do you access your property?
Morgan Drive.
So were you existing when they platted around you?
That's correct. Bob Hunt, and the gentleman who built this house and on the property at the time agreed that he could access on Morgan Drive. In fact, as I understand it, and I must tell you that this is only my understanding, I don't have any legal documentation. Chad Drive was built by the individual who built this property. And later, when Bob Hunt developed Rivers Crossing, they agreed to rename Chad Drive, Morgan Drive, and provide access to this property, 743 Chad Drive, via Morgan Drive.
Okay.
That's clear, but
I bet you mess up the post office, don't you?
say again.
I bet you mess up the post office. That's confusing.
You know, I tell you what, that's a whole nother story, but you don't have the time for it.
I bet it is.
Okay, Pike, is there anything else you want to add?
Well, I might add, part of my reason for coming up with the number, and as you see in that explanation that I provided, my taxes on just land, not the improvement, increased 363% from last year's taxes. Or if you go back to 2 years ago, it's a 465% increase for the land valuation. I don't think there was any data to support that kind of increase that's valid anyway. So I might indicate to you that that is a concern. The second thing I need to make clear is this is a hillside lot. And as a hillside lot, the buildable area is probably half or less, actually, of the 1 acre plan view that you see when you look at, say, the assessor's map on the west. So clearly, it's not comparable to any other flat lot. And I use those comparables up Chad Drive, 680 Chad Drive, 691 Chad Drive, 693, 695, all flat lots with buildable areas equal to the size of the lot. My buildable area is, excuse me, probably 50% or less. I used half simply because that's a good round number. So what I did was I used those 5 lots, I think it was, maybe just four lots. It's comparables, unitize the value of their land to acre, size of 1 acre units, and then took half of that to come up with the suggested land valuation of about almost $66,000. So that in essence is, I think, a summary of the appeal and the paperwork that I filed with the appeal. And in conclusion, I came up with a valuation total, land and improvement, of $630,914, which is still over a 10% increase versus last year's total valuation.
Okay, so at this time we'll go to our appraiser, Noreen. Can you explain some of this?
I apologize.
Pike, if you can't hear, let me know.
What was her name?
Noreen?
Laureen or Maureen?
Noreen, Noreen.
Okay, I apologize, Noreen. Go ahead.
That's okay. So when I received this appeal, it seemed
Maureen,
that,
I cannot hear you, so if you're on a.
You may have to come up and stand beside the phone too. You really can't even hear it through the mic because we're not on face or on whatever it is. I have a heck of a time hearing when I'm not here.
can you hear me now, Pike?
I can, Noreen, thank you.
Perfect. When I received this appeal, it looked like he was concerned with his land value only.
Okay.
So I did, for the commissioners, give some improvement comps. Also, underneath the subject there on our spreadsheet. There's a couple listed there that are similar to his size and close to his year, just for reference point only.
Mm-hmm.
And then down below, you will see on my spreadsheet, there's a few comps there for land only. The comps that were provided due to the sales are much smaller than his acreage. But I also have I wasn't sure we were going to be doing his son. Are we doing your sons at this after this?
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
that's what I thought. Okay. All right. So if you look at the comps that we have down below, due to their 1/4 of an acre size and almost a 1/2 acre size, I know that they do come in under his land value, but if you were to put those up to 1 acre, they would be coming in at his land. You know, it's hard to tell, but they're a quarter acre where his is 1 acre and he's sitting at 289,950. And then down below, time adjusted on average, he's a good grade on his home. And if you look at the comps that I provided, the average grade within his same neighborhood and being a quarter of an acre come in at that 200,000 mark also.
Noreen, does he get kind of any kind of a topography break if half of his lot is too steep, or I don't know?
We normally don't do that unless it's extravagantly
Steep.
and wooded and especially if it becomes unbuildable for some reason that's indicated from like CDH or the.
And looking at your lot on the map pipe, it looks like your house is right in the middle of a lot. And you got a shed or something on the west side.
Essentially, that's my apologies. I asked mine, sometimes it kicks in. Yes, that's close.
It looks like he kind of sits up and looks towards the river, but that hillside goes down.
Yeah, that's correct. It's more or less on a bench.
Right.
And the lower, I'd say 1.5 acre is on the hillside, and then right at the bottom, it flattens out until you get to my son's Flag Lot Drive.
Okay, looking at this, I think for an acre parcel in there, I think the 289,950 is a pretty reasonable value. The quarter acre lots around you are going for 200,000 to 186,000, and you've got a full acre, so
Yeah, but I think I understand your logic, but I would argue the point that any comparable that's flat, whatever acre value you choose, versus a similar lot, same land area that is hillside is certainly discounted from the flat lot. And I think appraisal practices pretty much indicate that based on my understanding of use path.
So your topography of your lot is based upon the buildability? Buildability.
That's close enough, yeah.
Your views, your soils, your access, and where you do have the steep incline on one side, there's nothing saying that you couldn't do something with that in the future, but you also have had it that way, and we've had you in this land grade of a good for many years. And you, with the market of what has happened here now, your land is worth that, I feel, that 289,000 due to the fact of we had slow sales at the beginning of last year, and as soon as bare land started popping up, people were buying it. And so this is where these increases you are seeing have happened.
So Noreen, just because I don't have those comps that you quoted in front of me,
Yeah.
did their land valuations increase over 300% like mine did?
Yes, sir, they did.
I looked at some of these land valuations on some of those comparables that I gave you, 691. Theirs did not increase 385 or whatever our number was.
So that does play in depending on where you're located. I understand that the comps that you gave were rural parcels to the west of you. And it depends on what kind of a neighborhood you're also sitting in. And when we say neighborhood in our world, it may not just be the subdivision you sit in, but it has a direct influence on your rural parcel. So with Rivers Crossing being right there, and you actually access out of the River Crossing subdivision, you're not in their HOA program, you're not in any of their CCNRs, and we understand that. But your house would be very desirable considering the land sales that had happened in that subdivision. We don't have you platted as part of that subdivision, and I will talk to our cartographer to see if we can change the highlight on the map that shows that you are part of that subdivision, because the original plat, you are not.
Well, no, we clearly disagree on comparables. The comparables that I used are essentially comparables that, at least in my view, are similar to the property that I have. And on a unit value basis, those that I gave you, 680 and the others, are certainly less per acre than those numbers that you just cited me. And I don't come up anywhere near the 280 value.
But those comps haven't sold.
So
So Pike, This
did you
is
see the
Sherry.
packet that I sent in?
We did, Pike. The comps that you provided also are not local, are not last year's sales, and that's what we base our values for 2022 on, our last year's market sales. So what you're,
Numbers.
pardon me?
Where did you think those numbers came from?
The lots that you provided for me are the values that have been placed for 2022 due to the sales around that area to the west of him.
So those are market values.
Yes, those are just market values placed on them.
And you just indicated to me that the 2022 values were extremely higher than the 2021 values. So I would assume then that the 2021 values that you use, that you base your comments on here, would be lower than the ones that I quoted, or the ones that I provided in my comp analysis, attachment number 2.
No, so they're based on market sale values. So the
So the
sales that
market
happened.
values- Market values that you use are not based on sales?
Yes, they are. I
Okay.
guess I'm getting confused with what you're
So-
trying to ask, Pike.
Well, what I'm trying to point out is the numbers that I used, which came from the assessor's website,
Correct?
are market values, which are based on market sales. So I don't see how there's an arguable point there that we're not
Past
talking the
sales.
same
You're not
language.
comparing apples to apples.
So I think what you're seeing, because you're trying to compare your property, just your property to another property where their increase wasn't as large as yours, correct?
Yeah, I think my
Okay.
increase is more than it.
Okay, so what I tried to earlier to indicate was due to the placement, I guess you would say, where your rural property is around a higher selling subdivision versus where the comps you provided are around a lower selling subdivision. And that is where your market sales come into play and where we determine how we set those values per larger neighborhoods of like and similar geographical areas.
Hmm.
I just sold a 1/4 acre lot on Morgan Drive for $170,000. I sold it in 2 days. And it's on one of the hammerheads. It's very tight.
So
And that's-
unfortunately, Pike, where your property sits, it's not, it's around a subdivision that's highly sought after due to the fact that the river's right there too.
would that have been the case last year and the year before as well?
Yes, but what happened for last year's value, which was based upon 2020 sales, the market wasn't as hot. They weren't buying up bare land in 2020. They were actually buying move-in ready homes. So we saw an increase in dwelling values versus land values.
Yeah, well, I would dispute that point, but I don't have the data in front of me. But I see it happening. There were a lot more bills, in the last, not just 2020, but it started in 2017, 18, 19,
Oh,
and
yes.
so forth. But mine increased, once again, land value increased almost 400% in 1 year. So I'll guarantee you that lot values around me, quarter acre, half acre, full acre, whatever, certainly didn't increase that much in the last year based on 2020 valuations or market value, if you want to call it that, sales.
We were seeing sales in your area that in 2020, they were selling for 50 to 60, 70,000. And by the end of 21, they were selling for over 200,000. By the end of 21,
By the end of 21.
yeah.
Okay. So you're saying that there were 400% basically
Yes,
increases?
yes, sir.
Hmm. Well,
I know.
I don't agree with that.
It's hard to wrap our heads around.
I'd be more than happy to look at your comps, and I think, so you're basically telling me that, that the jump from 2020 values to your evaluation in 2022 is based on land comps, land valuations, if you will, in Rivers Crossing.
Not solely on Rivers Crossing. We do have you in a neighborhood with Rivers Crossing and like subdivisions or geographical land areas of the same.
Well, Pine Terrace, for example, or what? I'm not aware of any additional ones in the limits that are of like characteristics. What are those subdivisions that are similar to Rivers Crossing?
Just a moment, sir. I got to get the map up to see it. Hang on a second.
Really frustrated with this map.
I can't find that same color. You might have to go down towards Lakeville.
We're having issues with our maps again, just to let you guys know. It's not just you. Without an address, the only way I can pull it's per parcel, and it won't let me pull a parcel.
Well, Pike, we're having technical difficulties with our mapping system. Please, if you would like to bear with us.
Sure, I will.
Okay.
While we're waiting, I might also point out that I'm about probably 100 yards from Fayette River, Fayette Lakes, water and sewer, about 100 yards from the third pond, which you can see on the
Takes me to the middle of
assessor's map.
nowhere.
So I think once again, that's a bit of a discount compared to whatever those comps that you are looking at. I suspect that there's not a
That would be the only thing I
large
would-
waste disposal or sewer pond within 100 yards of the lots.
Well, down in Blackhawk Pike, they're within 100 yards of their sewer treatment plant there also. So is Jug Mountain. So there are other.
Mountain. I'm not familiar with those guys.
Blackhawk has their own sewer treatment plant with lots very close, as well as, it's not the city treatment plant, but they have a lagoon system just like the city does.
Mm-hmm. So just Blackhawk, right?
Blackhawk, well, Jug Mountain is over at the end of Lake Fork on the east
Mhm.
river, or on the east ridge. They also have but they don't have a sewer treatment pond.
Mhm. Well, we definitely get the, and I've complained when it was at the city's property about, ambiance, aroma, or stink, that we get in late summer, early fall when the pond dries up.
I live right there, really close to you, so I understand.
Okay, and that's not a discount in some of these, 400% increase comps that you're gonna give me?
Well, I think, Pike, what the situation is a lot of the development clear around that whole area. Valley View, there's, not Rivers Crossing, the other River Bend or whatever it's called, that one, Oregon Drive, some of those parcels are selling for that much more an acre.
Yeah.
The reserve on Payette River, that's another high dollar one. You're just in a really good area that's going up in values really fast.
Once again, I appreciate your opinion, but I suspect that that's less than what USPAT would agree with. I know these are mass appraisals, and I understand that you can't be this specific, but clearly, not being a part of Rivers Crossing, not being in the city, not having access to city utilities, and on a hillside lot, not buildable on the hillside, that's for sure. I think slope requirements wouldn't allow me to build on any of this other slopey part of the lot
I'm going to,
behind it.
can I interject a comment, please?
So, we'll
My
disagree
name,
on that.
my name is Ed Allen, or Commissioner Allen. And I guess I want to come back to something here, and I'm asked assessor, are these lots selling, generally speaking, in his area, selling for what we're assessing this property for? And the answer to that is yes.
Yes.
It seems to me like, I know we're getting in semantics here, a lot of little detail, various things, and I appreciate what the assessor's up against with this, but we have to hold our ground on this one. And I think that, there is an appeal process beyond us, and I think that we have probably hashed this one as far as we need to go, personally.
That's where if I have a recourse, that I'll probably pursue with the appropriate counsel and expertise, then we can pursue it from there. I understand your position, I understand you're short of time, and I do appreciate your time and you sharing your perspective.
Thank you, Pike, for your
Thank you, Pike.
courtesy. So at this time, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we deny appeal number, whatever it is, NA 22196.
A second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Pike, I will make sure to send over my spreadsheet for you. I have your email address on your appeal form. Okay?
Okay. Do me a favor, when you do that.
Yeah.
Put the appeal number.
Definitely.
I could never get it.
Yes,
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that.
not
Okay,
a
now-
problem.
Pike, before you hang up, are you also gonna do your sons?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to that one next. And that is
Sure.
appeal number NA 22426. And I'm assuming this is kind of the same reasoning, or do you have something new to add to it?
Well, it's a little bit different here. This is a flag lot. We use comps that were in the, he is, by the way, in Rivers Crossing. So that particular part, the previous argument, no longer, is applicable. So, it's a flag lot with a long 140, almost 150 foot, flag pole before you get to the lot. Excuse me. It is a hillside. He had probably less buildable, or buildability, I think, call it Noreen, buildable area than I do almost. And he's once again below the pond, at Lakes Seward Pond. Also, he has less frontage, and of course, he has extremely marginal snow storage area for his bride. So those are the main points. The comps that I used were also in Morgan Drive, and they are lots that currently don't have improvements on them. And I used those as comparables, discounted his value based on the fact that those have quite a bit of street frontage, have ample snow storage area, are more traditionally configured lots. Excuse me, I'm running out of area with my head at this moment.
Take your time.
And so let's see, I think that's probably my main concern, is that there doesn't seem to be, when you use the median value of those comparables and his building area, I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I think 28 acres is what I've said. Theirs are all at least that, if not more. So I think to use the median value of those comps is a fair way to value his property. And that's in essence. And my argument there, I came up with a median value or land value for my son's property of 294,209, which is the median of those comps. Now,
So-
all that information, by the way, is in the packet.
Yeah,
Like,
we
were
have the
those
packet.
sales comps or were those just the land value comps?
Those are the land values. Once again, I equated sales market value with the 2022 valuation.
Hey, Noreen, do you have anything to add to this?
So Pike, on your son's lot, his 1 acre, if you were to change his acreage, let's say, because he's sitting at 2.0954 acres, his 1 acre home site is being ran very closely to the comps that you provided, because they're all like 0.9, 0.8. So his land value for 1 acre of a home site is ran at that same percentage, I guess you could call it, as the comps that were provided by him and yourself. So the remainder of that is because now we're looking at 1.0954 of the remaining of the lot is ran at a lesser value than that 1 acre home site that he could build on. So I understand that in your packet that was provided, or your son's packet that was provided, it was indicated that about 0.8 of his acre, or of his parcel, excuse me, was buildable. And we are adjusting for that by having the 1 acre as his main home site. And then the rest is the buffer that is at a significant less value.
Mhm. So do you take into consideration the flag lot and the lack of frontage and, if you will, drive-by appeal,
We do not.
even though those are standard use path characteristics?
Being mass appraisal, we have to look more towards the topography and the geographical area of where the parcels are lying. We will take in consideration how we kind of look at an area, especially with a certain subdivision. We will look at lots that, if they're on the inner portion, like, for instance, with this subdivision, if they're on the inside portion of the subdivision, I can't think. Those would be what we call graded less for that. And then parcels that would be up against the river, like your son's is graded at a higher grade because of the views and them having access to water and that such. We do try to take in consideration the topography of land at that time, and which one will weigh higher. I think it would be more desirable for certain people to want to be on the river than being inside, stuck in the middle of a subdivision where they don't have access to that river as their personal little spot to go fishing, probably. I can't say how people buy things. It's been crazy up here. So what I can tell you though, the 1 acre home site that is pulled out for building is sitting at 302, which would be right where you're stating at that 294. So that the remainder of that is the 67,000, considerably less than the 1 acre full market value.
Yeah. So that particular lot you just referenced is one of those lots that is not improved, and but it has waterfront, riverfront. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm talking about your son's lot being
Yeah.
right in the market with the lots that were provided to us with the comps that were right on the river. And your son's lot has trees and the lots that you had provided their valuation, those are pretty bare. There's not really a lot of trees on there for shade and privacy.
Well, 245 has more than enough trees. 265 has ample trees. So 2 out of the 5 do have quite a bit of tree coverage.
And again, are these
And
sales?
as I
These are just,
mentioned, on those particular lots, excuse me, those 5 that I use as comps, I use a median value, and that particular one was, I'm sorry, I have a lot to be able to shuffle. A particular one was 231, and it has a few trees, and not many, I'll grant you that. And, if we're gonna get as specific as trees and shade and those kind of things, then I think you need to include as well the flag lot discount. As we all know, flag lots are not as desirable because they don't have, excuse me, as much drive-up appeal and exposure as a lot that has a full frontage, like the one that you're using.
so Pike, I will tell you, I'm Pike, so I'm a real estate agent also. We had lot 217 Morgan Drive, which is on the river, but it has the community walk path through it. We put that on the market at 625,000 and had an offer on it before the gentleman removed it from the market. So it is a larger parcel, but even having the community walk space to the river was not a negative. And the flag lot does give you privacy. I've lived on flag lots myself, and there is a privacy factor there. So I believe that our appraiser has done a good job with pulling comps on this, and that there is a fair market value on this. So, Mr. Chairman, I would move that we deny appeal 22426, Jay
I'll sec-
Tyner.
And I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Pike, for calling in.
Okay, Noreen, please send those comps that you used on the, on my son's lot to 273.
Most definitely.
Yeah, just like you did. 217 is hardly similar, not, if I understand, your point. You can pick any comp you want, but it's hard to justify similarities between 217, excuse me, and 273. Anyway, thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for your time and effort. And, Maureen, I look forward to getting that paperwork.
Yes, Pike, I will get that sent over to you. You have a great
Thank
Fourth.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sherry. What are we gonna do the second one?
Hey, that was easy. We've had them a lot worse than that. That went okay. And can't blame the guy for trying.
We do not have personals for today. I do not know if the appraisers have any personals
Oh, please release this.
done.
First came to McCall, I lived over in Boydston. I used to go
So we
down
are
and ride
done
my
for the
bike,
day, Doug?
Maureen's gonna double
Go double check. I'll be right back.
Okay.
you know.
Chairman, and say that,
We're
be recessing until.
recessing until Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock.
Okay.